Welcome, Dean. Dean, great to have you here at Performance Marketer Podcast for the third season in a row. You're the most amazing guy I know. You've made such an impact on my life and so many other people's lives in the last few years with what you've been doing. And you and Tony have been just unbelievable, bringing the self-education space to the forefront of, wow, we can make money just doing what we know. Oh my goodness. It's like every time I talk to somebody, they're just like, what? You can make money just by like folding shirts or helping somebody through a divorce or just kind of helping a kid study. I'm like, yeah, you can. Go check out Dean.
Eric, first off, thank you for the kind words, man. And it is an amazing time to be alive. You know, my partner and who you know, Tony Robbins, has been in this space for 45 years. I've been in for 27 years, and it's been amazing being on this journey. But the greatest time we've ever seen is right now because it's so accessible to everyone, right? The world is saying, I don't want to go back to school for traditional education or general knowledge. I don't want to learn on my own. Who's doing what I'd like to do and is willing to share that with me or teach me or mentor me or sell me a course or coach me? And that's why this industry, when we started, Eric, the first time we did an interview was 3 or 4 years ago. This industry was about $100 million a day industry. The $100 million a day seems crazy. Right now, it's about $1 billion a day.
Oh my
and
goodness.
The last reports we saw is this self-education industry selling what you know, and we'll go more on that in a moment. By 2028, they're predicting it to be $1 trillion a year industry. So we might be in an economic winter as a country, as a world, but this is an industry that's in its springtime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's no doubt. With us going into a recession, you know, they always say like build when things are bad, right?
Yeah.
So it's like in this next year where we're going to be going through some tough times in the country, the ability for you to go and learn something new is at your fingertips. And you guys are the ones that are bringing it to the forefront. So we're excited about that. So this year we're doing a different thing than we did last year, right? This is called
the Time to Thrive Challenge. And what we realized, and here's what we'll do, I'll just get right to the point, is we are in a shifting world. We are in a shifting economy. We know inflation is here. We know that any day they're going to say that we are officially in a recession. But what does that really mean? In times of recession, if I go upstream a little bit, and then I'll get to the Time to Thrive Challenge. But if you really look at when a recession hits, inflation hits, what really cripples most people is the uncertainty, the fear, the lack of confidence. And there's the fight and flight mechanism in our world, right? We all talk fight or flight. But I believe during times like this, there's the third F, and that's freeze, Eric. And what people do is, oh my God, let me just see where things are going. And I want to tell you, any insecurities you have, any things that you have inner self-doubt on, they call it imposter syndrome, whatever you want to call it, it gets a magnifying glass on it. And what Tony and I realized, this is not a time to freeze. Just what you said earlier. Google when the biggest businesses are started, the most money is made. It's made during a depression or a recession.
Oh, yeah.
For those that have the ability to see the future, to thrive rather than sit on their hands. So this year, you know, last year we put almost 1 million people together and helped deliver capabilities for free. This year, Tony and I got together, and if you know anything about my partner, Tony, he's obsessed with serving people at the highest level. He doesn't need to work a day in his life. He's doing this because he wants to leave his mark on this earth and help bring people together during these crazy times. And we decided, instead of doing 1 day or a half a day, we're gonna do a 5-day training, about 2 hours a day, and we called it Time to Thrive because it's not a time to try to survive. It's not a time to freeze. This is literally a time to gain new capabilities, take uncomfortable action, and thrive. So we said over 5 days, we could go 2 hours a day and really pull back the curtain on why this industry, why now, and why someone who's watching right now doesn't think, I'm not sure this is for me, I've tried and failed, can I really sell something, I don't have a following, who would listen to me, all of those things I get. So over 5 days, we get to show you why this, why now, why you, how to identify what life experience you should be selling. Is it the mess you went through? Is it the skill you've learned at your current employment? Is it the relationship you've built? Is it the food that you eat? The things that you've studied? The yoga that you'd mastered? What it is that you should be selling? Who should you sell it to? How to elegantly sell it? And how to build an audience even if no one knows your name. And we said, let's do it over 5 days and deliver massive value. So listen, Eric, if you're going to suggest this, you're on a podcast, I want to make it that if you send one person or 100,000, when they're done, they email you and go, Eric, thank you for introducing to Tony and I because it was unbelievable. So that's our goal. And that's what we're doing. On August 2nd, we're calling it the Time to Thrive Challenge. And I think it's exactly what people need in this shifting world.
That's amazing. So talk about who the type of person is that should be coming here. Because I think people get confused because they think they need to be a digital marketer. They think they need to be somebody that's been in marketing for 15, 20 years, right? And that's just not true, right? Talk about like the who of who
No, that's really great.
And completely change their lives.
Yeah, great question, Eric. And it's really evolved. You know, year one, 4 years ago when Tony and I decided, you know, he's been in this business for 40-something years, 20-something for me, and we said it's time to share. It's time everybody realizes that their greatest asset lives in here in their life experience. Year one, we had, I think, the biggest launch in internet history. It was unbelievable. But since then, we've really figured out who we serve. So I just want to tell you who we serve. We serve those of you that need day one of the blueprint. Those that have never done this before or you've tried and failed is our favorite client. Like, our whole goal is to get you your first sale and your next sale, even though you've never done this before. We built our implementation process to help people get out there quicker, sooner, easier, because we both know, Tony more than me, because he's got an extra 20 years, we both know that complexity is the enemy of execution. If it gets a little confusing, you never do it. If you think it's for experts, you never do it. If you think you have to be a slick marketer, you never do it. Right now, just being honest, we're at about 58% women. We are mostly brand new people into this world, and we show you the process to build the confidence to go, oh, it's not about being a marketer, it's about someone who serves, about someone who shares what I know. If you really think about this, when people think, oh my God, I don't even know how could I sell what I know? There's two things I want to share. Number one, and I said this probably last year, Eric, but I'm going to say it again. When people say, I don't know how valuable my knowledge is, I say, what would it be worth to you if you had a week to prepare and you could go back and spend a day with your 20-year-old self? You could share with them how to make money, how to start their business, how to make sure their relationship is formed on real love, how they don't need anybody else, or how they could be independent, or how to take care of their health. What would it be worth to you? I've asked hundreds of thousands of people. It's always priceless or millions. Yeah, totally. Priceless or millions are the two answers. Totally. Here's the thing I want to share with you. You have knowledge right now that's just as valuable to someone else who's starting out where you used to be. If you're a chapter ahead, if you were better at sales, if you went through a divorce and you're on the other side, if you raised great kids, if you found purpose again, if you know how to eat vegan, do yoga, cut hair. I mean, we've identified 4,500 different niches with our students that people are saying, hey, I don't want to learn this on my own. I want to find somebody who's already been there. That's how valuable your knowledge is. But then when you think, okay, maybe I have an experience, what most people don't know how to do is identify it, how to deliver it, how to teach it, how to share it with confidence, how to sell it. And that's why we put together this challenge. And I think the reason we're doing this for free this year, the reason that we're going all in on this, if you saw Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger, they do their yearly presentation. And it's pretty funny watching these two guys in their 90s, the greatest investors in the world, and they're sitting on $156 billion in cash right now. But they said, yes, inflation is here. Economic winter is coming. And Buffett said there's two things you should do to protect yourself. And he said, whether it's Reichmarks or seashells or a deflated dollar, you want to get more of it. So the first thing you should invest in is yourself. That was his exact words. He said the second thing, though, is be a part, it was only two things, be a part of an industry or start a business that has higher margins, right? Because you can get eaten up with supply chain, get eaten up with costs of product, cost of goods. And that's one of the reasons we're all in this year, because one of the most valuable assets you have is your experience to help someone else go fast. And here's the cool part. When you learn how to unlock it, you don't have to pay for it. You could sell it over and over. You don't have to air condition, freeze it, ship it. Your knowledge is valuable and the margins are huge because you're selling something that someone needs. You get to impact their life. You get to charge them for it and go do it again. So we're going all in because this industry is exponentially growing. We're in a crazy time in history. We've been doing it for 68 years between the two of us. And we want to show people that this is what you should be doing. Even if you think it's not for me.
Yeah. So it's funny you say that. You mentioned Warren Buffett because I'm kind of playing around with stuff with, I don't know, exits and growth and how do you grow? Do you grow internally? Do you go and acquire companies or whatever? And I came upon something with Warren Buffett where he said exactly what you said. He said, the one thing that I would do if I were to give you any advice is to invest in small companies rather than you trying to go and starting it yourself. And it's very similar to like the self-education space of just going and finding somebody that's already doing it versus just trying to start it on your own. And he was just explaining like, don't worry about doing something you're not good at. Find somebody else that can help you get good at that.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then you can grow and it fast tracks. And then what happens is like, instead of taking 20 years to figure it out, you just saved yourself 20 years by getting somebody else to come in and help you with that, which was really interesting to me. It's funny you bring up Warren Buffett.
It boils down to so many times in life when we want to do something, we think how. How the heck could I sell what I know? How would I get it online? How would I collect the money? How would I deliver it? Totally. How would I find anybody that wants it? And how overwhelms us? But when you replace the word how with who, things change. Who could show me how to know what to sell? Who could show me how to collect the money? Who could show me how to teach it? Get rid of how and replace it with who, everything changes.
Yeah, that's crazy. I totally agree with that. One of the things that I think is really important to explain to people is when they come here and they go to the challenge, you're not teaching them anything about what they know. They already know it.
True story.
Oh my God.
We're exposing it.
Explain to people, because when people are coming here, you're not teaching them anything. They already know it. What you're doing is you're teaching people how to package what they already know. And when you explain somebody that, hey, you have something that you can build a business upon, you just don't realize it. You don't know how to package it. You don't know how to deliver it to somebody and turn it into a monetary value. That's what you're doing here, right? Like, I think people get confused with that. Like, I bring somebody in and they're going to learn lead gen arbitrage or media arbitrage, and I got to teach them everything about marketing. That's not what you're doing, right? Like, you already know it.
Well, really great point, Eric. I love the way you said that. It's really exposing the asset and then how to package and sell the asset that you already have through your life experience.
Exactly.
I'm going to give you an example. There's a girl, Cyrene, just because I happen to speak to her. I'm in my studio now, and I could, it's a Zoom. I could see 500 people at once. And I pulled her up one time. She was one of our students. And this is what she said. When I first saw you, Dean, I'm thinking to myself, I'm 50 years old. I'm a mom. I used to have a business. I don't anymore. What the heck could I share? And she said, my God, going through the challenge, it hit me. She's like, I went through menopause. And she said, I gained weight. This is something you and I could never understand, Eric. She goes, I gained weight. I felt crazy. I thought my husband was going to leave me. I had night sweats. I felt like crap. And she said, everybody I talked to went through that with no solutions. So I devoured every book I could. I went to naturopaths. I went to doctors. And she goes, I found between supplements and meditation, and I found a way where I squashed menopause. I didn't gain the weight. I didn't feel crazy anymore. I slept through the night. No more night sweats. And she's like, oh my God, I shortened that curve of what women are going through. And then she goes, in a moment, I realized that's my life experience. I don't have to be a doctor. I figured it out. Right now, her name is Cyrene. She sells a course helping women naturally through menopause. Who would have thought that in a million years, right?
It's amazing.
But we've identified 4,500 different niches. We have another amazing elderly lady. I say elderly, beautiful. And she said 40 years ago, her mom had crippling arthritis. Her grandma had crippling arthritis. 40 years ago, 35 years ago, she started to get it, and she obsessed over it. And she found that for her, it was a plant-based diet with certain processes and systems. She goes, 35 years ago, I stopped my arthritis. I stopped it in the history of my family. My mom, my grandma had it. I don't anymore. And she's like, I was thinking of all these things. She goes, now she teaches people how to get healthier, to slowly transition into a plant-based diet. She's crushing it, right? You don't realize there's so many different things we've done. People are helping. I know a mom that she said, when I had kids and I was a wife and I had a job, I lost me. She goes, I didn't have me anymore. I was there for everybody else. I felt alone. I had no purpose. I was depressed. I wanted to drink wine every night. And she goes, then I found 7 things in my life that shifted it, and I found me again. I became the woman my husband loved. I became the mom my kids needed. And now she teaches other women how to find themselves. It's everything you could possibly imagine, and we all have that thing in there. And you hit the nail on the head, Eric. It's not about us teaching you what to sell. It's about us exposing what you have to offer.
Yeah, totally. Yesterday, so I was going to meet my son, Zach, and I was with Ashley and Allie. Ashley's my daughter, who's 17. She's getting ready for college. She's got to think about writing an essay for college. And Zach's freaking out. He's got anxiety. He's all nervous. And I'm saying, what are you nervous about? You're traveling with like 30 kids at 14 years old, all over the, it's amazing. What are you getting so crazy about? And Ashley says to me, Dad, I get what he's going through. I have that same anxiety. Like, I was like, well, I don't understand it. I can't understand it, but let me explain to you something that you understand right now of what I'm doing tomorrow, because they don't understand what I do. And like, I'm talking to Dean tomorrow, right? And that's exactly what's happening. You could turn a business into understanding anxiety from other people and showing them how you overcome those issues and turn that into a business right now. You could write about that in your essay for college. Or you could start a business tomorrow and you could be 17 years old and be taking care of mom and dad in the next 15 years. That's exactly it. That's what you're describing. It's just like, just kind of explaining to people that it's just, if you went through something, you understand it, you figured out how to get through it. Take those 4 to 5 steps, write them down, and that's a business.
It's the foundation of a business in today's world, and not an overnight get rich for doing nothing business, a real business, part of an industry where you get to make impact and create success. I mean, think about this.
Totally.
Think if your daughter really goes through the process and squashes her anxiety. So can we digress here for a little second, Eric, as 2 parents?
Yeah, sure.
I'm guessing the way you grew up and I grew up is completely different than the way our children grew up. Is that a true story?
Oh, just Not even
right?
close.
I didn't fly on a plane till I was 25, and I had to work nonstop to save up. And my kids have never been on my youngest son's never been on a commercial flight, right? We fly private. It's a different world. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm just saying
No, Jim.
it's a different world. Like, I know what it was like to not have lunch money, and I told my friends I wasn't hungry, right? Like, oh no, I just don't feel like eating today. My dad didn't have enough coins to even give me the buck for school lunch. We got evicted from the trailer I lived in with my mother. We faced adversity, a lot of us in a different generation, and then we work really hard and we take that adversity away from our children without realizing it. And I realized both my children, 13 and 15, I have a 2-year-old and another one on the way, but my 13 and 15-year-old, Eric, get anxiety really quick because they've never had, like, you know, we witnessed a lot of stuff. We went through a lot of stuff. We had to handle a lot of crap. Those are kind of gone. So a little bit of pressure causes a whole new generation to have anxiety. Totally. Talk about the ability. Like, I would love, if your daughter was ever interested, I will send her our course, send her our training, put her through the challenge. She's going to college. She's going to do her own thing. But just so she has an alternate perspective, because if she cracked the code for teenagers to handle anxiety in a world where they didn't really have to deal with a lot of crap, that's a multi-million-dollar industry coming from someone her age. And all she'd have to do is say, these are the 7 steps that I went through to squash the anxiety in today's, you know, polarized world. Monster. But here's the thing. If you just said to her, here's the blank slate. What's your daughter's name? Ashley?
Yeah, Ashley.
If I said, Ashley, here's a blank slate, could you go figure it out? She's like, I don't know where to start. Dad, you're crazy. Your friend Dean's crazy. But if I said, Ashley, here's the blueprint. If you ask yourself these 20 questions, you could figure out what to teach. If you do these 5 steps, you'll do it with confidence. You could deliver it as a workshop over the weekend on Zoom, or you could do a mastermind, or you could create a course, film it once on your phone and sell it over and over. Or you could do a monthly call with people. You can get teens on the call monthly and you can help them through it. If I took your daughter through that, she'd go from this is to, oh, wow, look what's possible, right?
Yeah.
And that's really it. And when you identify this and you have someone to guide you, God, it's just such an amazing opportunity. And it's not an opportunity I think will be here forever, but it's here right now.
Yeah, that's really remarkable. I would love to take on Ashley, take her, show her the way. I did that. I gave her 10 questions and said, just fill these out. This is a framework, fill it out. And when you do the essay, you're really starting a business, but you don't realize it right now. And you're going to help your little brother.
Well, make sure she's there on August 2nd. We'd love to have her as a guest.
Yeah. So when you're doing this and you're getting it set up, right? I know, like, back in the day, I used to get these internet books and they'd always talk about, like, working on believing and it can happen and all that good stuff. But it never really got down to, like, I'd be like, well, how do you do it? Like how do you price it out? What do you do? Do you do a course? Do you do a mastermind? Literally step by step. How does it work? How would someone actually make money? How do they get paid today?
Yeah, it's a great question. So first off, we all need to have the right mindset or else you give up on yourself. Listen, we all have. You're listening right now, you're watching right now. There's been something in your life that you wanted to do. You let self-doubt talk you out of it and you went back to the person you used to be. We've all done it. So first off, we really obsessed, and nobody better than Tony, getting in your mindset to say, this is time to stop dabbling, burn the boats. You're going all in, right? But then we take you through a methodical process starting way upstream. Once you identify what it is you want to share, again, whether that's helping kids with anxiety, helping people cut hair better, or a million other things, once you identify that, we show you the 3 steps to be able to teach it with confidence. It's called our Story Teach Tool Model. Think if your daughter figured out how to help teenagers with anxiety. Her first story could be, hey, I went on this trip, I saw my brother on this trip, I watched my brother's anxiety through the roof, and I realized enough was enough for me. I needed to squash this anxiety. So I went to doctors, I read books, I interviewed people, and I came up with 7 steps that killed my anxiety. Wouldn't you be intrigued? Okay, what is it?
Yeah,
so
totally.
That's the story. Then anybody could tell a story, so then you're like, oh, I have enough confidence to tell that story. Then you start teaching. Okay, the first thing I learned was this. Don't make things worse than they are. Don't make things better than they are. See things as they are and realize that we're, whatever it is. So then she teaches. And then the last part is the tool. Here's what I want you to do. Today, I want you to write down 5 things that you're making worse than they are instead of better than they are. Okay, that's your first module. You just did the Story Teach Tool Model. Let's go through module 2. And we take you through that. Now, once it's created, then we say, okay, who's your ideal client? Right now, we have social media. Instead of social media using us, we can reverse engineer it and use it. So now we go out and find teenagers with anxiety that would love some help. And people go, well, I could do that too. And then we just take you through the process just like that all the way through. We even created the platform to show people how to get it up, connected to your bank account with a merchant account. So someone goes, yes, I'm a teenager. Yes, I have anxiety. Yes, I want Ashley's help. Hit the button, the money goes in Ashley's account, and she does her teaching. I don't want to oversimplify it, but no one's ever created a process like this because we got 65 years of doing this, Eric. We know where people get stuck, and we created the way to make sure they just stay unstuck through the whole process.
Yeah. Do you have any success stories for different age groups of like actual numbers you can talk about? Like, do you have like a 12-year-old that's made $10 million or something crazy like that?
Yeah, no, I don't have it broken down by age groups, but I know we have a 12-year-old teaching kids how to have positive thinking. Oh my God, this kid is amazing. He sent in videos to us. I'd watch this kid nonstop. He's got the most positive outlook ever, and he's helping young kids all over. And we have someone 85 years old helping somebody paint using painting to find calm and peace in your older age. I mean, and everything in between. We really obsessed, Eric, on helping people get their first and their next sale. Because all I know is your first sale will stick with you for life because you know for a fact, like, wow, this is real. You know, sometimes you see, listen, we all see the ads, 6 figures in 6 months, and how to make $1 million a year. How's that worked out for most people? Sure. It doesn't, right? It's a pie in the sky. What we want to show people is it's your first sale, then it's your next sale, then it's consistent sales, and then it's time to scale. And that's the trajectory we've created for people.
Yeah, that's great. And they're doing it through courses, through masterminds,
workshops. Some people have a monthly live coaching and they charge $47 a month. Some people have a $1,000 a month coaching program on how to invest better. Some people sell a $1,000 course. Other people sell a $50,000 weekend in-person mastermind, right? Yeah. It's all what aligns with your soul once you understand the different options.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, so you do what you want. You do what you feel. It fits your lifestyle.
You pick your path.
Yeah, that's really powerful. In today's day and age, it's just, I've seen so many people that come to me and they say they want help, but they don't know what to do or how to do it. This is it. This is as simple as it gets, right? You don't have to go learn anything new. You already know it. So the training is on August 2nd.
Yeah, it's August 2nd. It's called The Time to Thrive because what we come up with is this is not a time to sit on your hands. It's not a time to freeze. And it's not a time to say, I'm going to try to survive. It literally could be the time to thrive if you gain the capabilities to do it. So we're calling it The Time to Thrive, and we're calling it a challenge because we're challenging you to learn something new, challenging you to take action, and we will challenge you every day. It's not kind of free. It's completely free. Go to thrive125.com. Thrive125.com. It's myself, Tony Robbins. I got Matthew McConaughey coming because I love his book, Green Lights. He entered our business. That book is so freaking awesome. It's not about being an actor. It's about self-education. Jenna Kutcher and Russell Brunson and Brendan Burchard and so many great presenters coming to deliver you value. This is something you could pay $1,000, $5,000 for. So pretend you're paying that much. Go sign up and then show up. Come to play full out. It's something pretty spectacular, and I think this is the last year we're doing it, Eric. So
no. This is the last year? That's terrible. Why?
At this size, putting a million people together. All right, maybe we might do it one more time, but this might be the last year. So I'd hate for you to miss it.
That'd be terrible. You're making a huge impact. You have to be there. I mean, this is the most amazing. I was there when you broke the internet the first year. That was unbelievable. And then when you guys went to the challenge, that was just so much better. I just found there was so much more value because you got more days to sleep on it, like listen to you a little bit, get all excited, and then I'm all pumped. And I was like, what am I going to do? Now I got to come to day 2, day 3, day 4. And I was like, oh my, at that point I was like excited. Then I was like, well, maybe I could do this. Then I was calm enough to be like, okay, this is possible. Wait, this is it. And then I have a team here to support me. And it really just, it was a great move to do that because the challenge is so powerful. Be able to spend 5 days with smart people like yourselves to just kind of work through the nerves. It's just like you're hitting me with the, I can do it. But then it's also I can hang with these people. I like these people. I can spend more than one day and enjoy it. That's really important. So I love the challenge. I don't ever stop that, please.
Yeah, all right.
If you do, I'm going to call you back.
And that's why we switched to 5 days. Because here's what I promise you. If you go, again, thrive125.com. If you sign up, go play full out for 5 days, probably 2 hours a day. We say 90 minutes. We always go 2 hours. because we have just so much information to share. And it's one of those things, do you have time to do it, or do you really have time not to do it? If you don't have time in your life, what's going to buy you time back? If you don't have freedom in your life, what's going to buy you freedom back, right? It's a new capability. As Wayne Gretzky says, why he was such a great hockey player, you don't skate to where the puck is, you skate to where the puck is going. This is where the world is going. And, you know, we've been doing this for 65 years and we're still at the forefront of it. So we'd love to share with you. And what I can promise you is if you give us those 5 days, you'll leave those 5 days a different person. Whether you decide to be in this industry or not, your mind will be opened up to new possibilities, and I'd encourage you to be there.
Well, I think you're being really kind on $5,000. I mean, $5,000 is cheap for just one of you, and you're talking about like people that are. So it's probably worth millions of dollars if you really want to be honest about it. You know, I like to look at it as when I'm ever going through any program of anything I've done, there's really the objections, the challenges of why someone wouldn't do this and in their mind when you're thinking about this. And it's the vehicle, it's internal, external, right? So from a vehicle's perspective, we've covered this, right? You already have the knowledge. You just have to figure out how to package it, right? Internally, you're going to be insecure about it, but you can do it. You're good. And externally, it's the excuse of you're watching Netflix for 7 hours a day. Take the time to spend some time here free to hang out with these experts that are just geniuses for a $1 trillion a day industry. Trillion.
That's $1 trillion. Yeah, it's heading towards $1 trillion a year. Yep.
Unbelievable.
Pretty amazing.
Unbelievable. Well, I'm thankful for you. I'm thankful that you give me your time. I know how valuable it is. I feel like it's so special just to be here with you. I learn when I'm just talking to you right here.
I just want to tell you, this is the third time we've chat. You're always so kind. You're always so humble. You've had amazing success in your life, and you have an air of humility that makes you so likable and appreciative, and I appreciate you, and I appreciate you and the capabilities you have. So, and those of you who took the time to spend with us today, I know you have a million other options. You took this half hour or 25 minutes, a half hour with us today. Thank you. But don't let this be something, if there's anything we shared today that excites you, seriously, don't let it end here. Don't let this be the end of a 30-minute podcast. Let this be the beginning of exploring something new. Just come explore, and here's what I'd suggest. Pretend you paid for it, because then you'll show up. Secondly, take that thrive125.com and text it to someone in your life right now and say, let's do this together. Get someone in your life that wants to do more, be more, and say, right now, do this with me. Go sign up, put it in your phone, put it in your calendar, and we'll see you on August 2nd.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Dean, appreciate you. I'll see you on August 2nd. I'll be there. I'm excited for it. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate it.
Appreciate you, dude. Seriously, I enjoy our conversation. Maybe we should talk halfway through the year. We shouldn't just make it once a year.
I would love it. I'm going to blow up the leads this year. I've got a new software with surveys that I'm going to build out some surveys for you on the lead gen side. You're going to see. You're going to see the name pop up. It's going to be fun. So
Eric, I appreciate you so much, man.
Right.
Talk soon.
All right. Be well. Take care.
Bye-bye.